Nvidia and CoreWeave stock investors got some amazing news today. And on today's episode, we're going to take a closer look at everything that AI investors should know that happened in the market. Now, let's take a closer look in today's episode.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for their subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so even though Nvidia stock barely moved for the day, I do believe there was a lot of things that investors should consider and kind of look at it in a long-term bullish mindset, right? Sometimes we see a lot of these cool events, and my titles obviously say amazing things happened for this company. Because it is amazing, many expect for like the short term to be very bullish, but I don't know what the short term is going to do. What I do believe is these kinds of news help understand that the long-term thesis is pretty strong for these companies. And this is what I mean by amazing news for Nvidia and CoreWeave. Now, the first one I want to take a closer look at is Amazon today announced that they do have the public offerings of their P6 B200 instances. So these are cloud solution using Nvidia's B200 GPUs or the Blackwell platform. And it's not bullish to see that Amazon is offering this, right? I think we already knew that all cloud service providers were going to be using the B200. What I do believe is bullish is by them now having going from a preview to a offering already, it showcases that the Blackwell platform is ramping up pretty well. And a lot of these cloud service providers are getting a lot of inventory to be able to start having these in public offerings already. So I think it just showcases a very strong ramp up process of the B200 and the Blackwell platform, which I do believe can, at the end of the day, be seen as a nice revenue booster or revenue confidence of that Nvidia is going to get a lot of money from the Blackwell platform. Now, the second thing that we got from Nvidia was this 13F filing, and this has to do with CoreWeave as well. So Nvidia just reported their 13F filings, and there weren't any changes to their current holdings. So all of their current holdings are still there, and they did not add or sell to any of their current holdings. Now, there was a new addition here, and that is actually CoreWeave. So CoreWeave has become Nvidia's largest position by far. When these filing was reported, CoreWeave was about $900 million worth of position. I do believe with the current price up that we see CoreWeave right now, I think this valuation is most likely closer to $1 billion. So this is a nice position that Nvidia owns of this company. Now, I've talked about it in the past. I'm actually very bullish in CoreWeave in the long term. In the short term, obviously with the stock running up so much, I do believe volatility is there and opportunities for patient investors might be waiting. But CoreWeave, one of the main reasons I'm super bullish for them, not the only, but one of the main reasons is I do believe they have a great partnership with Nvidia. This partnership with Nvidia allows them to get the best AI chips as quickly as possible, and they're able to build this infrastructure as quickly as possible, which I think is crucial for this AI infrastructure market, and allows them to make these amazing long-term contracts with some of these massive big cloud service providers. Now, the second thing here with CoreWeave is I also do believe that Nvidia has this amazing story, and Jensen talks about it, about AI factories, a new type of data centers. And I do believe with the partnership that CoreWeave and Nvidia have, that CoreWeave is going to play a crucial part in these AI factories. Now, like I mentioned, I am bullish on CoreWeave in the long term of things, but the stock sitting at $66 after running up, my cost basis on this stock is $40.40. So obviously I'm a little bit cost basis locked right now. I wouldn't be purchasing the stock at these levels if I might be honest. It is already a big position in my portfolio. If I did, it would be very small dollar cost average. I do believe this is most likely a stock that's going to have a lot of volatility due to the craziness of the AI market. But seeing them owning such a big position, and is by far their biggest, right? I mentioned at the time of this filing, it was about $900 million worth of valuation, where the biggest other position is ARM Holdings that is only $120 million. So this is about 8 times bigger, maybe a little bit less, maybe closer to 7.5, but that is a huge difference between number 1 and number 2. So it does get me pretty excited about Nvidia owning this. And again, I purchased CoreWeave way before I knew how big that position truly was. Now, I am going to take a closer look at some other things impacting NVIDIA. And we're going to look at capital expenditure. And these are some amazing charts that you're going to look at here, pretty interactive. And this jumps, if you want to support the channel, there are a few ways. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 75,000 subs by the end of the year. Check out fool.com/Jose for my special offer. Check out finchat.io/Jose for my 15% off on any subscription here on FinChat, and you can get amazing, amazing chartings. And finally, check out whatthechip.com for my free daily semiconductor newsletter. Everything I did will help the channel dramatically, so feel free to do that. But now kind of jumping here into this finchat.io chart, I'm kind of looking at capital expenditure. And here to my left, this is capital expenditure by a lot of players for the full year of 2024, and this is the trailing 12 months. Now, normally when we look at Nvidia stock investors, they're really much worried about the big three, maybe the big four. I didn't add Meta, but normally you think about your Microsoft, you think about your Amazon, you think about your Google, you think about your Meta platforms, and you think about your Oracle, except Oracle is a smaller player. I do believe as we are getting into these new kind of cloud service providers like CoreWeave, CoreWeave is going to be a crucial player. I mean, look, CoreWeave actually did more capital expenditure than Oracle in fiscal year of 2024. And I actually believe that is going to be the same for 2025. So when we're looking at capital expenditure, I don't think you only have to look at the big four. I think there's a lot of players that definitely showcase the overall revenue growth potential for NVIDIA. Now, the reason I bring CoreWeave up is because CoreWeave, like I saw, they did mention that for capital expenditure for the full year is actually expected to be about 20 to 23 billion dollars. Now, this is pretty exciting, as that is no chump change. Again, that is more than Oracle did in fiscal year of 2024. Now, the other thing that gets me excited, and let me know if you're into my thinking right now, is this company for quarter two guidance gave about $30 to $3.5 billion in capital expenditure. For quarter one, they spent about $2 billion. So in the first half, if you add quarter one and quarter two, that's only about $5 billion in capital expenditure. That's telling me if they're really going with this capital expenditure of $20 to $23 billion, on the second half of this year, they're expected to spend $15 billion plus in capex. Now, why would they want to be spending a lot of money in the second half? Is NVIDIA going to be releasing a lot of their new chips? Or is NVIDIA going to see a massive ramp up production in the second half of this year? Is this going to either be the B300 Ultra, B Ultra, which is the B300, or is the B200 just going to see such a massive ramp up that we can see CoreWeave is expecting to spend a lot of money? Regardless, at the end of the day, this is very bullish, in my opinion, for both CoreWeave and NVIDIA. For NVIDIA, obviously, it means that the second half is going to be a massive revenue grower for NVIDIA, and I am super excited after seeing this. Now, the second reason I believe, now for CoreWeave, I think this is exciting because CoreWeave only buys chips once they have kind of a contract deal. So if they're going to buy this massive AI infrastructure solution, it means they have some massive customers waiting in line. And CNBC actually kind of reported that CoreWeave during their earnings mentioned that they recently inked a deal with another massive hyperscaler. Right now, we know they work with Microsoft and with Nvidia and OpenAI, but another hyperscaler. We do have kind of Christina, which is a CNBC NASDAQ covering the semiconductors, did a little bit of investigating, and for some time CoreWeave's website showed Google as a logo in their customers, and eventually they fixed that, but no longer Google is there. But if Christina is correct, she does believe that the next customer here is going to be Google, and that would be massive, right? That is showcasing the massive demand for AI solutions, which again will be bullish for CoreWeave as they're going to get more growth, but it's also, in my opinion, going to be bullish for NVIDIA as it showcases that there is plenty of demand pent up for AI solutions. Now, the final thing here that I have for NVIDIA, and this is a pretty big one. So, reportedly, the UAE is going to build one of the biggest AI campus outside of the United States in this recent Trump deal. So, there was kind of like a preliminary agreement signed to kind of build one of these biggest solutions. Obviously, there's still maybe some concerns over national security and the concerns with China that could access that technology. But the UAE could be allowed to import 500,000 of NVIDIA's most advanced AI chips per year starting in 2025, sources have told Reuters. NVIDIA declined to comment. The UAE foreign ministry did not immediately respond to the request for a comment either. But if this is true, this is massive, massive for NVIDIA, as it does showcase that they have plenty and plenty of room to grow. Obviously, in the past 5 days, the stock is up 15%. If you've been following this channel, you know a lot of this. When the stock was down in the 90s, we were extremely, extremely bullish. And I am super excited to see NVIDIA up at 14%. We have earnings in 2 weeks. We have Computex in a week. This is going to be the best place you're going to find any semiconductor news, especially when it comes to NVIDIA and the AI market. So don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to check out my pinned comment to see all the great offers that I have for you, the viewer. So take care, have a good day, and see you all next time.